time of year, folks. It's time for the P&Q Halloween Special 2023. What is up, YouTubers, gamers, and fellow hobbyists out there? Welcome to the P&Q Halloween Special. And I am so excited to be able to do this. I really am pumped. This episode, this Halloween, I've got some wicked, see what I did there, questions. And it's just awesome, and I'm super excited. I love doing P&Qs anyway, but these, oh man, super cool. So you can see I'm bathed in a bit of a red glow light effect here. I've turned it down to what you now see, and hopefully this is going to be okay. Right, questions, man. I've got questions here. Largely thanks to a friend of mine who sent me a whole bunch of them. Sent me a link to a file with, how many questions did he say? It's 25, but don't panic. A lot of them are quick fire ones, but there are some cool ones in there as well. I've got a question from, someone that isn't on YouTube. Well, they are on YouTube, but only to view other videos. She's registered, I believe, but doesn't have a channel. So, but the others are all from you guys, and I'm super excited. I don't know what order to do this in. I may do the one from my friend because she sent it in because she has a question, and it's regarding my equipment, because her partner is on YouTube, you see, was wanting to know. Right, so she has a question, and I'm going to answer. So I'm going to answer her question first. I think she'd be okay with me saying her name, but I'm not going to say it anyway. But it doesn't really matter. You know who you are. Right. So she asked me, what wireless microphone do you use? And she went into that because, you know, her partner has got a YouTube channel, and her son has started up a YouTube channel as well now. So her partner's got a YouTube channel all about horticultural, gardening, landscaping, that kind of thing. And her son's he's starting up a vegan cookery channel actually, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so what wireless microphones I use? I use an H2N Zoom microphone, which is this bad boy here. Got another one here, a spare one there, and you can plug the lapel mics into them. You can use them as the actual microphone. You can set them up. It's got like 4 or 5 microphones in it. It's super cool, and it's all for different types of settings and environments. And what you'll find is you'll find what works best for you. But I've already sent you the pictures and the link in that. But yeah, it is Zoom. If I turn it on, see it's firing up there. Yeah, it's just loading up the software, and there it is. There it is. I don't know if you can see the bars there. See the bars as I talk? That's what you get. I'll just turn that one off. It's low on battery anyway, that one. But yeah, so that is the microphone that I use for my channel. Depends on what type of video it is, though, really. If I'm going to do a voiceover, then I don't need any microphone for that. I just take my camera out, whatever camera it may be, and just film. If you're outside, I've noticed, especially where I live, you get a lot of wind, an awful lot of wind noise, and no amount of noise reduction filters will cancel it out entirely. So you've got to be you've got to be prepared for that. But there are ways around it, but I'm sure you'll get to all that in good time. Oh, by the way, I'm drinking from my Warhammer mug. Coffee. So that was the first question in my P&Q. Now, that was just a kind of like a kind of an intro to it. So that's what this series is about. Someone asks me a question, I answer it. Or they'll give me a topic. They'll say, what's your view on, I don't know, glitches in the Matrix, things like that. You know, those kind of videos that people, where you get like videos of like airplanes in midair, like as if they're frozen and things like that. And I give my opinions on it. No one's actually asked me that, but I happen to think they're very cool, very cool. So that was the first question anyway. I'm not actually filming this on Halloween. It's a few days before, actually. But Halloween I'm going to be busy, so I won't be able to film it then. But it'd be nice to put this up on Halloween so you can get into the spirit. Spirit, see what I did there? I'm not purposely trying to come up with puns. And I've got a torch to try and see the questions here. I think what I'll do, I will start with other questions, the ones that you have left me, because you guys all know each other, and and some of you left me a few questions, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start with Mr. Mini Walmart, who says, hey Pete, who is your favourite classic Halloween villain? And are you going to play any Zombicide game? Halloween villain. Wow. The classic villain for me would be Dracula every time, because I suppose growing up when I was a small boy, he was kind of the first horror villain I came across in movies and things. Well, I think he was the first. I mean, it's difficult to tell, you know, the Hammer House of Horror movies that used to come out. I used to watch them as a boy. So you had Dracula, the Mummy, Wolfman. You know, they're all Frankenstein. It was all kind of at the same time. It really was, and it's difficult to say. But my favourite classic villain out of them all would be Dracula. Dracul. Yes. Count Dracula. Am I going to play any Zombicide? Absolutely I am. As you know, I've finished the Zombicide 2nd edition core box set, all painted up, all ready to go. And going to be looking through the rules just to see what changes there are from the first. And hopefully next time, not this time, because my brother-in-law is coming up. My brother-in-law and my daughter, they're coming up this coming weekend, Halloween weekend. They're coming up for that. But we've got so much planned. It's so much going on. Got so much planned. We're going places, and we're going stuff to do with my wife's birthday and our anniversary as well. And it's all loads of stuff happening. This is why I'm recording this now, you see. But after that, they're not going to be up until Christmas. But I'm hoping that by then we'll be able to set up a game of Zombicide. Yeah, once we get gelling with that and warmed up with that, we're going to have some Zombicide on the channel. Again, don't you worry about that. Absolutely. Thank you for your question, Brian. I'm just going to have another sip of coffee. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put up any music in the background for this. If I can find any, I don't know, appropriate creepy music, I may do. I may not, but we'll see. I do hope the battery in my torch lasts, else I won't be able to read these questions. Next question I got comes from Who Took My Dice? That'd be Ultramarines and Beyond, wouldn't it? And cracking channel Steve has there, and all of these channels, by the way, mini warm up, Who Took My Dice, go and check them out. If you are new to this, if you've not come across these channels before, any of the ones I mentioned, please do go and check them out, all right? Because I'm sure there's something for everyone in there. Anyway, come back to the questions. Steve says, sweet, here we go. Because I tend to put out, can you please ask me some questions, videos, before I do a P&Q. He says, here we go. Halloween themed questions. 1, what is your favourite horror movie of all time? 2, favourite Halloween candy? 3, do you have any scary supernatural stories that have happened to you? Wow. Well, let's start with number 1. What is your favourite horror movie of all time? You know, I think horror movie. I mean, not talking like sci-fi horror, I'm talking just pure horror movie. I would have to say Jeepers Creepers or Jeepers Creepers 2. I'm going to say Jeepers Creepers, the first one, because that's what set the precedent for the other one, although they're both phenomenal in terms of what a horror movie should be about. But yeah, it's got a lot of cliche stuff in it, and it even references that during the film as well. There's a point where there's a kid, like a sister and brother, and they're driving home, you know, for the holidays and whatever, and he thinks he sees something going on in this place, and he stops to investigate. And his sister's like, dude, you know that point in horror movies where, you know, the guy does something stupid and you're screaming at the screen not to do it? This is that point, and it is that point, because obviously he gets trapped and whatever else. But if you haven't seen the movies, go check them out. Really, really, really cool. Okay, number 2, favorite Halloween candy. I like, it's not a specific candy, but I like, I don't know, you used to get like pumpkin, not jelly things, but kind of like that same sort of consistency that you get with like the fake teeth and things like that. I don't know what it's like, a sort of gel, not jelly, but do you know what I mean? Like those shrimps and bananas that you get. I don't know if you get them in the States or wherever, but in England, in penny sweets, like you get like these bananas and you get the shrimps. It's that texture, but in the shape of a pumpkin, sometimes with a scary face on the front. I like those. I don't know what they're called, but they are my favourite candy, Halloween candy. And I suppose that and any other Halloween themed sort of jelly type candy as well, they would be my second favourite. Chocolate bars, I'm not, you know, I like chocolate, but I'm not, you know, addicted to it or anything. It's not like, I must have chocolate. But I do like the jellies and the other things, sort of sugar gel type things, whatever they're called. Okay, last part of your question. Do you have any scary supernatural stories that have happened to you? No, not to me directly, but I do know someone that had it happen to them. And I may have mentioned this on a previous Halloween P&Q, I don't know. There's a couple, we'll call them Ben and Jane. That's not their real names. You know, boyfriend, girlfriend. And this is going back to when I was a student, so a long time ago. When you're a student, we're all students, but when you're a student, you have to do extra jobs, part-time job, you know, to do any job you can get to make ends meet, right? Anyway, Jane used to do like babysitting for extra work, and on this one occasion, she was babysitting. Well, she wasn't babysitting, she was house sitting. She used to do babysitting for this family. That's right, now it's coming back to me. She used to do babysitting for the family, but on this occasion, they'd gone away on holiday, and they'd asked her to just stay over a couple of nights, just to look after the house, basically. And she was happy to do that because they said you can, you know, if you stay over, you can use, you know, our food, whatever that's left in the thing in the fridge, whatever, because they knew she needed, you know, money and feeding and all the rest of it, because we used to live in some pretty cold flats in those days. I mean, whereas this place is like heating and, you know, warm and food and that, you know. But there was a reason that Ben couldn't babysit with her on this particular night. I can't. It was so long ago, I can't remember for the life of me. But anyway, middle of the night, she kind of wakes up. She's gone to bed. She wakes up with this feeling that she's not alone in the house. But she was totally alone. No pets or anything to look after. Just house sitting, right? And it's an old house. There's a lot of old houses. Back in Plymouth, this was where I used to live. Some of them are huge. A lot of them have been converted into, like, you know, one big house would be converted into 3 flats easy, you know, but this was still the big original house. Anyway, and she woke up, she had this feeling of dread, you know, hands on the back of her neck, up on end. She felt she was not alone in this house, and she was scared. So she rang Ben, and I wished I could remember what he was doing. He couldn't be there, but obviously he was like on call for her, because, you know, he wanted to be with her, but he must have had another job that he was doing. I'm guessing. I mean, I did many jobs myself, some night jobs, some day jobs, to fit in with all your lectures and things. Anyway, but that's another story. She phoned him, and he could hear the kind of panic in her voice, and he's like, what's the matter? And she explained, I don't think I'm alone in the house. And he's like, right, okay. So she was borderline having a panic attack. He said, look, and she'd phoned him on the people that she was house sitting for. She'd phoned him on their landline, yeah? And he said, no, okay, I'll stay on the line with you, and what we'll do is, first of all, just get dressed, you know, put the phone down on the side, get dressed, and then come back to the phone, and we'll go through each room, we'll check it, you know, we'll do all that. So she goes, okay. So she gets dressed quickly, gets her bag together, and he says, what I want you to do is we're going to go through each room, and I will prove to you that it's all okay, but you clearly, you know, you want to get out of there just in case, all right? But, you know, we're gonna go through each room. So he said, right, put the phone down, like, go back to the bedroom, just check that. So she does that, good. And with each room, she does this. Oh, I think, if memory serves, there was a line upstairs as well, so she could pick up the upstairs receiver. So she didn't have to go back downstairs each time. So she's like, right, I'm in, you know, I've checked the bedroom, no one in here. She said, right, check the other bedroom. Right? And she does that. Right, check the bathroom. Right, you know, check the other bedroom. You know, she does that. She says, right, I'm going downstairs now. She puts the phone down because the receiver downstairs was off the hook as well. So, right, we checked upstairs. Okay, check downstairs, check the living room, check the hallway, the back. It's all locked up and everything. It's like, yeah. She said, but how do you feel? So I still feel freaked out. She said, okay, all right, just leave pick up the keys, take your bag, lock up, come over to, I don't know, wherever he is or my place or whatever. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to, he probably was working, so I'm going to tell him I've got an emergency. Okay, I'll stay on the line. Don't put the phone on the receiver. I want to hear you click that door so that I know you're safe, right? Okay. So he says, okay. So he hears her put the receiver down. He hears her jingling her keys, fumbling around with her bag or whatever. He hears this because the hallway was right next to the front door. It was a big old front door as well. Anyway, so he hears that creak open and, hears her footsteps go out. He hears her slam the door shut and the lock click into place. So he thinks, right, she's safe now. She's on her way over to me or my place or wherever, and I'm going to go and meet her. Just before he hangs up the phone, he hears someone pick up the receiver and put it back on to the. You pick up the phone and put it back onto the receiver, and it goes. Duh. That is a true story. I didn't tell it as well as he told it to me. It was a long time ago though, but trying to dredge up this from my memory here. But yeah, so it didn't happen to me, but it did happen to a friend of mine at the time. Yeah, pretty scary stuff. So the house apparently empty. She left, and then he heard someone pick up the phone and put it back on the receiver. Boo! Chills, man, chills. I don't know if that was supernatural, burglar hiding and whatever. I don't know, but it creeps me out, and every time I think of it. And it's quite creepy here because I'm actually on my own in this. Well, I've got the cat and the dog downstairs for company, but Mrs. Minnie Warzone's away, you see. So I'm on my own in the dark. I used to be scared of the dark when I was a kid, That's another thing, yeah. I used to be terrified. I used to have night terrors. It was awful. Anyway, enough of that. Don't want to hear that. You want to hear the next question. The next question, my friends, comes from Idic Beer, Necrons, and more. Hi, Nick. How you doing? Been a long time. Well, Nick says, yeah, cold water swimming is the thing, apparently, lol. Defo not for me. Oh, this must have been on a video. I was talking about people going in the water and quite late in the year, probably October time, and people were just stood in disbelief looking at these people going in swimming. Nuts. Anyway, he says, I'm doing well, thanks. Would totally love a 4-day week. Oh yeah, yes, I was talking about 4-day weeks. That's what they want to it's what our unions in my work are pushing for. Anyway, have you ever watched a scary movie that you have had to stop watching because it was too scary? Yes. Yes, I have. Right, okay, now, another sip of coffee for this one. That movie, my friends, was A Nightmare on Elm Street. The first time I ever saw it, I had to stop that about halfway through. It was too scary, man. It's like, what? I'd only just left school as well, and I'm like, what? This is scary stuff. Did watch it all in the end, but it was one I had to take a break in. I'm like, no. It's creeping me out way too much. Thank you. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I won't give you nightmares. Thank you, Nick. That was a cracking question. Thank you so much. I hope you're still continuing to do well, and hopefully I'll see you on the next P&Q. Thank you. Right, so that's the first page done of those. Next question comes from JamJar43. How you doing, sir? He says, what major projects do you plan to do in the future? Great video. The spice is real. Yes, it is. The spice is very real. What projects am I planning to do in the future? Well, now, do you mean big projects or small projects? There are loads of small projects that I'm going to be doing. I'll tell you probably the biggest project I want to undertake, probably next year. Start. It's going to take me a long time. I want to undertake recreating a table for the Fall of Cadia. I want to do a Fall of Cadia themed battle table for Warhammer. And if anybody doesn't know Warhammer, Fall of Cadia was something that happened in the lore, the ongoing story. You know, it was always a case of Cadia will not fall, but it fell to chaos. So I've got to build up my chaos armies, or my chaos army, I should say, and my Cadians. I've got a nice Astra Militarum force, but they need to be overwhelmed by chaos. I've got loads of chaos bad guys. I've got Abaddon for starters, because he was there. So, I mean, yeah, so I want to do that. We'll come on to how I'm going to deal with that in another question, because there's going to be a bit of a reveal later on with the channel, what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be doing it. But that being my big one. Smaller projects, I want to do stuff like bolt action, building tanks, just small things like that, really. Building, painting stuff for my role-playing, my Dungeons and Dragons and other fantasy role-playing games that I want to do, and my sci-fi ones like Alien, Blade Runner, you know, that kind of thing. So lots of little projects on the go. My nostalgia shelf, you've seen that before. I'm constantly collecting stuff for that. There's still a few more things I would like to get for the nostalgia shelf. I want to get I've got a Jaguar or Daimler model for it, but what I'm after is a Mark II Jaguar model. I've got a tiny one, but like a bigger one if possible. It was like the car that Inspector Morse used to own and drive around in. Always wanted one of those as a child. Mark II Jag. Oh, I just think they are gorgeous, and I would love one. I really would. So might get one in the future. Who knows? Who knows? Don't know. It would be a very dry Sunday morning, or a fair weather Sunday trip car, I think, and then back for a polish. Clean and polish after. Well, yeah, and I'd enter it for car shows as well. Oh, I'd love to do that. I just would love to. Right, thank you, Jam Jar. Thank you for your question. That was awesome. Okay. Next question comes from Jamie Crosby 5395. I can hear a dog barking. That's kind of creepy too. It's not my dog. Means it's outside. But anyway, Jamie Crosby 5395 says, "Hi Pete, I'm a MESBG fanatic. Just wondered if you're a fan or not." And I wondered, when I first read it, I thought, MESBG? And I thought, I bet you that's Middle-earth strategy battle game. I bet it is. I'm a Middle-earth strategy battle game fanatic. Just wondered if you're a fan or not. If so, do you plan on painting any figures from this game? Absolutely, I'm a fan. And yes, absolutely, I'm going to be painting figures for it. I'm planning on doing some tutorials for it, actually, because I just think the figures are gorgeous for that game. absolutely gorgeous. I've got a few boxes of figures for that would work. I think it's time I had another sip of coffee. But yeah, Middle Earth, I mean, I'm always going to be a fan of that. I've always loved Middle Earth. I just love it. Okay, next question. So who took my dice again? Steve? He says, I may have asked, but don't remember in any case. What is your thought on the state of Warhammer 40k? Right. Now this is the big one. Okay. I think that's my neighbour's dog. You can't hear it, I don't expect, with this microphone. But, yeah. Wonder what my neighbour's dog is barking at. Anyways, this is good. This is really good. I'm doing really well here. We're half an hour already. P&Qs, they're a big one. So the state of Warhammer 40k. I've got to tell you, I don't know what the word is escaping me. I love Warhammer 40k. Right, okay. Put that caveat out first. I love Warhammer 40k. But I'm a little disillusioned with it, if I'm honest with you. I'm sick and tired of, and I'm just going to say it, I'm sick and tired of being fleeced by Games Workshop for the latest this, that and the other. You know, a new edition, new rules that change before books even come out. The way I know they've got a set business model and the way it works. And there's a few companies that have a similar one. But I am so disillusioned with that right now. And it made me come to a decision, something I've been thinking about anyway, and this is just what's pushed me into deciding this is what I want to do. Okay. For my channel and moving forwards, for games, for my channel, I've decided I'm going to become a soloist. I'm going to become a solo tabletop gamer. I already do solo RPG anyway, but I'm just going to go solo. That doesn't mean I'm never going to play non-solo games or whatever. I've got a hobby club just down the road for me. I can go down there most days, most evenings, and weekends, and play to my heart's content. You know, but for the channel, I am just going to do solo stuff. If anybody I used to have people come around to my studio to play Warhammer. That's not going to happen here. It's just going to be me. I'm going to, and what I've decided is, I'm going to play whatever edition I want. If I want to play 6th edition, I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the old books, old codexes, old points, whatever. I'm done with formations and all this kind of stuff and what you need, and I'm just going to play for fun. I'm not even going to, in factions, I'm not even sure I want to stick with having one pure army. I want to mix them up a bit, have some space, have some Ultramarines, have some Blood Angels, have some, who knows, have some Necrons on the same side as well, fighting some Tyranids and Chaos, who are palling up as well. Who knows? I think it has a potential for awesome fun. If I could talk anybody else into doing it as a live opponent, I would. Back in Plymouth, I had one opponent, someone I used to work with actually. I had one person that was up for anything like that. If nobody's up for that sort of thing here, so be it. I'll just go solo and do it. But I'm sick of paying out for the latest things all the time that are out of date before I've even had a chance to sort of get my head around it. I'm done with that. So done with that. But I'm not done with Warhammer. I'm still going to be playing it, but just solo. I'm going to be painting it and collecting it just for my own pleasure. And other games as well, other tabletop war games, I'm going to play them solo. That's not to say I won't play other opponents outside of the channel, because I probably will. And role playing is going to be solo. Again, I may end up playing around a table again with other players, which they do a lot here. Most likely it'll be something like Roll20, though I'll probably do it online. I've just come to love solo, being on my own and on my own terms so much, not having to organise people to get it together at a certain time. I just love everything about solo. I can do what I want, when I want, for as long or as little as I want. And that's it. So there's the bombshell. We're going solo, guys. Going solo. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that. It's going to be so much fun. But thank you. Thank you for that question, Steve. Thank you for extracting that information out of me. Right. Ooh. So I have a few questions here. These could be quick fire, so anyway. So I've got these questions sent to me. Right. If you were given the death penalty, what would your last meal be? Oh, come on, really? If you were given the it's a bit dark, isn't it? I mean, I know it's Halloween, but come on. If you were given the death penalty, what would your last meal be? I don't know. Roast lamb and mint sauce with sprouts, peas, and a carrot and swede mash with roast potatoes and gravy. Lovely jubbly. Yeah. What? Next question. What do you want etched onto your tombstone? What is it with you and death? What do I want etched onto my tombstone? I don't know. Help, let me out. That sort of thing I'd put out there if I had one. Next one. Have you ever said Bloody Mary in front of a mirror? Yes, I've done all that. Who hasn't? Would you? Oh, this is a good one. Would you ever spend a whole night inside of a haunted house if someone paid you? Hell, I'd do it for free. I love all that stuff. I used to have a buddy. We used to go searching around like old abandoned caves and things like that, and old abandoned buildings and things, and trying to creep ourselves out. Love all that stuff. Never spent the night in one, but yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd totally do that. Love it. Film it if I could, get some, the old sort of infrared, whatever, nighttime vision camera thing going. Yeah, that'd be well cool. Have you ever used a Ouija board and what happened? No, I haven't. Never used one. I think there was a group of girls in school years ago that did, but I don't have any story to tell. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure they got together and did that. Which Stephen King novel unsettled you the most? Ooh. Unsettled me the most. Oh, Insomnia, I suppose? I don't know. It's a cross between... Well, it comes down to three, I think. Insomnia, It, and... Bag of Bones, because that was a little bit more mellow, but it definitely had an unsettling, well, it would do when it's Stephen King, an unsettling tone, likely attached to the undercarriage of that one. So one of those three, or all of them. Oh, my torch has just gone out. Guys. Right. Have you ever seen a fresh corpse? Oh, come on, dude. Have I ever seen a fresh corpse? Yes, I have. No, I'm not going to tell you about it. But yes, I have. I have indeed. Right. Have you ever had Your tarot cards read. Yes, I've had my tarot cards read. I have had my tarot cards read. Would you sleep inside a coffin for a night? Yes, I hear they're quite comfortable. Actually, I went to university with a guy that bought his own coffin at uni. Yeah, and he had it in his flat. And he slept in it because he loved vampires and all that kind of stuff. He was really into it, can I say. But he swore that it was really, really comfy. So, yeah, okay. Would you buy a doll that you knew was haunted? Shit, no, I wouldn't do that. Creepy dolls? Hell no. No way. I've seen Chucky. I know what happens. Yeah, it's absolutely no way. Creepy dolls just freak me out. Hell no. Have you ever been to a haunted house attraction? Oh yeah, I love haunted house attractions. I've been in through the walk-through ones. I've been on the ghost trains that go through. Oh, it's always been my absolute favourite attraction or ride at a fairground or something of that nature. Right from when I was a small kid. Love, love, love the ghost trains and the haunted houses. Absolutely love it. I've been into some fantastic ones as a kid. When I was a kid, there used to be some brilliant ones used to be a couple of brilliant ones in Weymouth, a place called Weymouth, which is like a seaside kind of fairground resort type place, similar to, I suppose, sort of like Blackpool Pleasure Beach type thing, but not the same layout. But yeah, love them. Okay. Do you believe in any mythical monsters like chupacabras, shadow people, skinwalkers, etc.? I think I believe in all of them, to be honest. And I love trying to creep myself out at night watching scary YouTube videos about such mythical creatures. Love it. But yeah, I totally believe. I've seen too many videos of footage. I know a lot of it's kind of BS, but I've just seen too much. They can't all be fake, not all of them. And yes, I do. Does the sight of blood make you squeamish? No. Not on other people, anyway. I suppose my own slightly, to a slight extent, because I look at it and think, oh, I'm injured, I'm damaged, I should be feeling pain, and sometimes you do. On other people, nah, it's just blood, whatever. But more so on me, but not on other people. What do you think hell looks like? What do I think hell looks like? Like a 9-to-5 office that you can't leave. Yep. What is the scariest horror game you have ever played? I suppose Resident Evil, when I very first played it, the first one, and Silent Hill when they first came out. You gotta remember, back in the day, the effect was, oh wow, and that was incredible. I mean, by today's standards, not very scary, but I think for the time that was the scariest game I've ever played. That was on the PlayStation. Board game, I suppose Haunted House when I was a kid. A bit like Haunted Mansion. I did a board game restoration of one. It's very hard to come by. Something I always wanted to get hold of. Haunted House. So from my childhood again, nostalgia, I got hold of it. I restored it to its former glory, and you can check that out on my board game restorations. what have we got through now? Have you ever walked through a graveyard or forest late at night? Done bad, go one better than that, mate. When you should know because you was there, played a game of Vampire the Masquerade in a graveyard, and you were there because you were one of the other players. So, yeah. So yes, is the answer to that question. But when I was even younger, when I lived here the first time, I used to go through graveyards all the time, you know, with walking my dog through them because it was on the way to the marshlands. I used to like walking with my dog. Are you afraid of clowns? No. No, I'm not. Do you dread Friday the 13th or look forward to it? Well, I look forward to any Friday because it's the last day of the working week. What is your favourite part of Halloween? Nowadays, doing these P&Qs, definitely, because I just love it. I love this interaction with you guys, and thank you so much for helping me out with the questions and the comments. It means so much to me. I just love it. Thank you. Have you ever gone apple bobbing? Yes, I've gone to parties where they've done apple bobbing. I wasn't very good at it. Vampires or werewolves? Werewolves, every time. Have you ever watched a Ghost Hunter show? I watched loads of them. Yeah, love those. What is scarier, psychological thrillers or slasher films? Oh, psychological thrillers every time. Way more scary. I mean, jump scares, you know, but psychological stuff that really gets into your mind, burrows deep and freaks you out. Would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death? Date, I suppose. Yeah. Date of my death, because, you know, I won't be so worried about it at all. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but, you know, I'd be like thinking, I can prepare for it then better. I can organise. Whereas if you don't know the date, it could happen any time. It could take you unawares. You might not have got all your affairs in order. So, yeah. Thankfully, I've got my affairs in order. Have you? And the last question of the 2023 Halloween P&Q special. How often do you think about death? I suppose quite often, really. Not in a morbid sense, but I just think sometimes, oh, I'm going to die one day, and you know, I often think about old friends of mine that have passed away, and family members as well, and have passed on. And I think, well, they're part of whatever happens next now, and one day I'm going to join them. So hopefully I get to see them again. And, you know, I don't know whether it's like, because I've heard so many stories of after death stories and things of what happened. Are we still separate kind of entities almost? Can we converse with one another, or are we kind of like one big link? Do we just know everything anyway about each other instantly, or can we converse? Like, you know, I don't know. I do have someone that doesn't believe in any kind of afterlife or anything after death, and I think that's quite sad in a way. I think that's so lonely and sad. I don't mean in a derogatory way. I just mean, oh, how sad, you know, not to believe in something. I totally feel there is something after death, and I've had a lot of family tragedies over the years. I've had a few in the last couple of years. So yeah, the more often these happen, it does make me think of death. So yes, I think about death quite often. Anyway, guys, that is P&Q 2023 Halloween special. And back to the real world. So yeah, thank you ever so much for joining me on that. Really had a heap of fun. Oh wow, 51 minutes there. It won't be quite that long when I've edited it, but I'm going to have fun editing this one. And I'm super looking forward to putting it up on YouTube. Thank you again so much for those questions. Without them, I couldn't do these. So thank you for keeping the faith. Thank you for keeping them going. Having so much fun. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, all brushes lead to wall. I'll see you guys on another video. And yeah, until then, stay safe and see you out there. Bye bye.